Hello guys, Rookie here. Welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna discuss about the Free Fire Star Select we're gonna get in 3.1. I'm gonna make a list of what pros and cons for each every single card that we're gonna get. And without the way, let's begin the video, shall we? Start with Jane. Now Jane is an interesting case because she actually is the only anomaly card that can actually proc crit rate with her anomaly damage. But she gives the enemy the flinch effect, which actually translates into a gone state, which actually increases Jane non-crit rate damage when she procs assault by 40-50%. Also, yeah, her own assault crit rate can be increased with the higher anomaly approaching, so yeah. Now, on paper this sounds pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie, but in reality it's not that good as the game would like to be. Like at the base, she's very better than Piper, and that's everything you need to know about Jane. Now, she has a lower floor, but absolutely high ceiling because her my escape is actually kind of broken. I mean, look at the M2, 50% defense in your 50. That is a lot, especially for a normal card. Like, to give you a context, Shungwana has like what, 10%, 20% defense in your, like 20% defense in your. She's a boy freaking hunter. So for Jane and M2 having 50% defense in your, that actually is pretty good, not gonna lie. Now let's actually list the pros and cons of Jane. Now she's a solid anomaly option, which you can play with every possible combination of anomaly cards. Like whatever Jane you're gonna fit as a mini PS BDS, she's gonna do pretty solid even to this day, so yeah. Good synergy with Alice, because Alice has the thing that she can proc polarity assault, but basically she can proc assault automatically, so you could directly proc you can actually proc an assault with Jane first, then swap her with Alice, and then it's quickly gonna proc another assault on her own, which is gonna cause this sort of damage, so yeah. And true busters, you guys saw, 15% defense ignore is way too much for anomaly to ignore. Plus technically damage increase, which actually is not bad at all. Increasing the wrong crit damage when she procs assault, so yeah. She's not dependent on her engine at all. Engine's total option, which means as every anomaly cutter, you can actually use good old Weapon Gemini, and she's gonna be fine just with that, which means actually she's gonna use the chance to actually if you plan to get her, to actually get someone else than your engine if you decide to get her. So yeah, you can create a secure and strong ammo team which is monophysical if you satisfy certain requirements, because guys, monophysical right now is actually the strongest mono team in the whole game, because Mono Ice is being power crept as hell, we already know it. Mono Shock is powerful, but one of the most one of the hardest team to actually master. And monophysical is actually arguably the easiest one to play, even though it is actually not easy to create, because herself, Alice and Yuzua kinda bust, I'm not gonna lie, kinda bust. Like, you can easily destroy enemies in shield with that. Not too sure about DA, but yeah, it is pretty strong. There's also a rumor that she's gonna get a potential soon, so trust that, and I mean, look at her. The last one is self-explanatory, so yeah. Now, about actually cons, like I said before, she doesn't have a great base power, like barely better than Piper, so there's this to consider. At M0, she's gonna struggle badly, so yeah. Annoying assault cooldown, yeah. Physical anomalies are annoying in that when you apply the anomalies effect, assault, you actually have to wait for the cooldown to be reset before you can actually apply another assault, which means you have to wait. You cannot spam assault immediately unless you use Alice with applied assault. But aside from that, yeah, you have to wait for the cooldown to reset before you can actually apply another assault. That's an annoying thing of actually anomaly physical cards, and why they are kind of slightly more difficult to play than other anomaly cards, so yeah. Other cards you can just apply the effect and be done with it, you don't have to wait, you don't have to worry about a stupid cooldown. Not with anomaly, physical anomaly cards, you have to wait for the assault to be actually reset, so yeah. Monophysical is the most well-oriented team, which is yeah, kind of a problem, because in order to for the mono physical team to actually work, yeah, to get the M2, Jane M2, Alice and Yuzua probably M1 or M2, I don't remember correctly, but yeah. The mono physical is the most well rented team, so not really free to play plan, yeah, free to play friendly, so yeah. Also, her engine isn't that great, but like I said, this is actually not a problem because she can use Whipping Gem just fine. So yeah, overall I recommend getting Jane if you really like her playstyle and you need a decently strong normally character. Definitely recommend getting it for the Mindscape, especially M1, which means you can get a straight away M2. And also if you plan on getting Remiel, which should probably should work pretty fine then in all, especially if you put her in a triple anomaly team with Remiel, so yeah. Now it's time to talk about the number 0, Sanby, the most useless card in the whole game. Okay, I'm joking. Now she's an electric DPS that actually excels in quickly destroying the enemies due to a special skill attack, because she actually is gonna apply Silver Star Mark. Once the Silver Star Mark reaches 3 charges, you can actually quickly dash to the enemies by pressing the normal special attack, which actually converts into a Flash, which is gonna quickly dash to the enemies, actually easy to destroy them. She's basically an easier version to play than of Aru. Yeah, basically the power is more or less slightly above Aru, but much easier to play than him. So if you're lacking electric DPS, she's a solid option, but nothing too crazy to go on about. So yeah. Anyway, how about Sanby? She's a very standard and easy to use DPS. Like I said, like it's so easy to play Sanby. Just apply the Silver Star Mark and then quickly press E or whatever the button of your special attack is, and easy gonna destroy the enemy. Solid free to play player options, like you can play with a team with even with a freaking basic, like you could theoretically play with herself, Sanby, and freaking Nicole. That's how much of options she really has. She has a flexibility because she can play as a buff strength DPS if you play with a good stun, like I don't wanna say Shingi, but yeah, for stun oriented DPS Shingi is still probably the best. Dalin, or maybe if you are to be fully on field like with Trigger, Fufu, Normax, etc. And also Burgers. Okay, now their cons. She isn't that much strong to begin with. Like, to me personally, she's barely better than Naruto that was given for free. That's the reason why back when she was first released, I actually didn't recommend to get her, because I didn't find that much difference between herself and now, especially now that they both have buffs, the potentials, not really that much worth recommending yet if you already have and use Aru, which is no one, but if in the case you use Aru like myself, yeah, difficult to recommend her. And best support to synergize with her, Orphe, which is actually a big problem, because guys, Orphe is a fire character, which actually the best in slot for her, and Sanby is electric DPS, which means the bosses that are favorable to Sanby are not gonna be favorable to Orphe, and the bosses that are favorable to Orphe are not gonna be favorable to Sanby, because usually if a boss is weak to electric, it's also resistant to fire damage, and the opposite is also true as well. So kinda of awkward synergy she has with Orphe, that like that is either one of the two had to sacrifice the best matchup to favor the other. So yeah, no get all. Also, the biggest problem with Sanby, that's what made me crazy. She has shitty Mindscape, shitty, like what is this garbage? You can gain like prediction and timers, which is extra damage, but it isn't that great. Like even RM2, only 12% crit rate increase. I mean, these on paper sound good, but reality, guys, they are not. Just a minor bonus, like slightly crit rate increase. Like if you plan to get her, you cannot really fully vertically invest into her because she has crappy Mindscape. Definitely, she's one of the guys that's definitely the worst landscape in the whole game. So yeah, and also this is gonna be a controversial one, but yeah, she should just straight up a better option. Even if it's a hyper carry, which is sure decent, ci sia job to be hyper carry, but guys, trust me on this one, she is that much better than Sanby. Sanby really starting to show her age, and I cannot in a good conscience recommend her over Cistia. With all the problems Cistia does actually have, and she does have, because I didn't recommend her as well. But if you don't have any dedicated DPS, she probably is your best option, and then Sanby and Arrow are a second option at the best, so yeah. Well, decent DPS, but nothing too crazy. I struggle to recommend that, especially if you're a free-to-play player, because you definitely want to get something which is quite a bit stronger than Sanby. So if you like the design and the gameplay, sure, go for it, but otherwise, I just straight up skip. Now, Hugo is a different one to problem than Sanby because he's even weaker than that. Not because of his fault, but the game actually works. Now, he actually is a unique mechanic called Total Heights that actually converts the damage from the stun window, actually converts the wall stun window into freaking damage. The problem is that you only gonna get one instance of that, which means you have to be sure that Hugo actually does crit that Total Heights, because if it doesn't, it's gonna do 0 damage whatsoever. And even if he crits, it's not gonna do a lot of damage at M0. It's probably one of the, if you not straight away, the weakest character in at least at M0. Now, with my escapes and some good support and a bit of faith, yeah, he actually can get pretty good, especially with M2, which actually gives me a bit more chance to actually do more damage when the enemy is stunned, because it doesn't convert the stun window right away with using the ultimate, but you can also use the skill as well, which actually gonna increase the damage output you're gonna get from him. Oh, plus he actually knows a bit of defense as well, which is always not a bad thing to have. But that's all I'm sure. So there is out of way before she can get strong. Overall, definitely do not recommend him without to show you guys the list, because it's so weak. Definitely the worst ice DPS in the whole game, and the worst DPS in general, probably. Is the most unique DPS in the whole game, that has to be said, which if you're looking for something different, it might be the guy for you, and also it's cool as hell, not gonna lie, but really, that's about it for his positives. As you can see, he actually has more cons than actually pros in his favor, so yeah. He has to be the character with the most rigid playstyle, as you can only play him in burst-oriented way, due to the Total mechanic, which actually really is hurting him a lot lately. There's only a small amount of cards you can actually use with him, Lycon, Lighter, Kalin, that's it. That's all the characters you can pair with him. Like, you cannot even support it, like, he needs stun so badly. So badly you cannot use Astra, you cannot use Duo, you cannot use Suna, you cannot use any. Okay, maybe Suna you can use in certain cases. Normal you can use with him, but that's it. Like, he's so restricted, his team building is so restrictive, he's gonna actually, I don't know what's gonna make people crazy. Bullying him, make him reach 100% crit rate, to actually bullying a team around him, so yeah. Like I said, difficult to build, and literally the worst ice DPS in the game. Like, it's even worse than Ellen, because sure, Ellen was a point on Scatter, but he still got buffed twice. This dude, as you can see, he still has 0 buffs to show for whatsoever. Combine that with the auto mechanic of the lights works, yeah, that doesn't work, that doesn't body well for him whatsoever. So overall, I do not completely recommend getting him. Do not be fooled by the guys that actually show you that you can get 60k with him. You definitely can get 60k with him, but so with everyone else. And him, although the card is the most difficult one to build, both his build and a team around him, also is the most difficult one to master. Not in terms of gameplay perspective, but in terms of his mechanic actually works. He's gonna give you a hard time, guys. Do not pull for him unless you really know what you're doing. But if you're not, you just planning to get a DPS to clear and get content. there are better options for him for sure, so do not put him, I don't recommend him at all. Finally, we talk about Trigger because Trigger is probably the best option that you get from this 5-star select, so let's just dive deep into the key, shall we? Now, the thing about Trigger is that she actually is a stun that actually increases her own days with their own crit rate, so yeah, when Trigger crit rate is 40%, each crit rate actually gonna increase her own death per the aftershock attacks, which are her main way to actually deal stun upon the enemies, so yeah. She also increases the target stun damage multiplier, but only when the enemy is not stunned, which means she's a better option to do damage to the enemies while they're not stunned. Unlike Shingi, you want to quickly stun enemies, so you can actually use the DPS in a butt-friendly way, actually destroy them with the actual stun, so yeah. But why do I recommend her? Why do I think she's the best option for your account, especially for a free-to-play player? The reason is because she has the most pros on her favor. Like, she has a story standard option, which is always a good option to have regardless of the account. She starts on the field, so it means that you won't have to worry about stunning the enemies, while you can actually use your DPS to do damage, while she's gonna stun them off field due to aftershock attack, so yeah. She also has the best stun WNG in the game, like, the WNG is something ridiculous, like, she can actually apply death reference action with a short attack if paired with the Blue Engine, which is single-handed reason why I recommend you guys to get her if you already don't have her or the Blue Engine. Because 25% defense reduction for a stun is a lot, like, the only card that does defense reduction on him is Nicole. But Nicole, like, you actually have 2-player and you have like to quickly swap her frequently because I buff plus nothing. Instead, with the way I Trigger Aftershock was, she's always gonna bring like, and the debuff is always gonna be active no matter what you do because she does apply Aftershock quite often, so yeah. Really something amazing. Anyway, you can increase your own days with crit, kind of Yabidos with her anomaly, like I showed you guys before, which actually means that the crit rate trigger us, the more days you're gonna inflict to the enemies. Oh, then obviously do more damage because the more crit rate you have, the more chances she has actually to trigger a crit rate hit, lol. Get anyway, so yeah, it's so funny. Anyway, because of that, like I said, the offers a decent amount of damage as a stunner, and she's a great option of a support for heavy electric DPS in the game. She's gonna work with the heavy electric DPS like Sanby, Aru, probably even CC if you play also with the Seed, like. But she can also work with every single attack agents in the game due to the fact that she basically requires zero management at all, just to use the special attack, to fill her bar full, and then she's gonna apply up the shortcut on after you swap her out. She's that much convenient to play, and also she's got a great cake, so yeah, a lot of points of her experience, as you can see. Now, she also comes as well, like, she's definitely not a fast stun in the game, like, she's gonna take quite a while to stun the enemies, even with the range, like, Shingi is faster than her, Talin is faster than her, Norma is faster than her, so in some cases, you'd rather use these cards, especially if you have a DPS that really needs the enemy to be stunned as quickly as possible, like, maybe a bit hard, but not as much as in the past. Hugo definitely as well, so in some cases she might not be the best option. The stun damage multiplier is gonna play with enemies not stunned. She actually makes it a problem to play with the Buster into the DPS, specifically Hugo, but also Aru as well might be a problem if you don't use if you don't use Thunder Metal set with him, because Aru, I think you get him the Thunder set metal and play Mono Shock, or you want to play Burst DPS with him, otherwise he's gonna do zero damage whatsoever. So the fact that she doesn't apply her own stun damage multiplier is actually doesn't apply when the enemy is stunned, it's kind of a problem. Now, and Mindscape actually fits that, RM1 actually fits that, so you won't have to worry about that anymore if you get Iron 1. The stun damage you apply through is increased, but also is applied as well. Yeah, they might skill that doesn't tell you, but actually is applied as well while the enemy is stunned. So yeah. Next point, she's heavily dependent on WNG. Like I saw you, like I showed you guys before. If you want to get her, you have to get a WNG because damage is something so vast. 25% the defense reduction is a lot, and without her, triggers suffers a lot. Like, she probably want the agent the most to their own signature. So you wanna, if you get her with a selector, you also wanna get her WNG, unless for some reason you are at so yeah. Her buff still feels second compared to US stuns because she was one of the first of field stunners in the whole game. I mean, it's a buff such and great. I think on defense reduction from her WNG, which is great. She really doesn't provide a lot of team in terms of support. I mean, stun damage multiplier increase while the is no stun is great at all, but it's not the best thing in the world. And also, yeah, she doesn't have the full speed damage, she doesn't have the Linis ultimate, she doesn't have normal chain conversion. Neither attack bonus or other buffs provide, so yeah, you have to consider that when getting her. Because of that, she has jack of all trades, master or none, which means she can do everything well, more or less, but she's not gonna tell on anything of these things. So don't expect her to carry your team alone. Like, she still needs a pretty good solid team around her. She cannot carry a whole team alone. Don't expect the damage coming from team to skyrocket just because you have on the team. So yeah. Also, another problem is that the Lin is actually coming back, because if you guys actually follow the news, in 3.1 we got a triple threat run, which are gonna run both the Lin, Yuza, and Aru. So if you actually plan to get, yeah, also those reruns, you have a guarantee to get one of these free cards and every study pools, which means suddenly her value actually comes down a lot. So kind of difficult to recommend her over the Lin, but considering you're gonna get her for free with the engine, she probably is still the best option you can get from this fast as Electro, unless you are into Rapture, and that's where the only card that's actually on from this selector actually comes in. Here comes Lucia. Now, Lucia is a really interesting case because technically she's the strongest character on this first selector you can actually get, but in this case depends solely on whatever you like Rapture card, so rather if you actually have a new Rapture card of course, because if you don't, her value really drops of all anyway. Let's just talk about her key, shall we? Now, but the thing about Lucia is that she both increases HP, she also gives share force increase, and she can also increase the damage your team actually is gonna do. So yeah, there is also that to consider. And she can also do quite a bit of damage on her own, so overall she's a really great support for Rapture agents, because they really want speed, they really want sheer force, and also they can maybe do crit damage as well. Plus, she gonna also do some HP regeneration, which is not bad at all, so there is also that to consider. Anyway, but the thing about Lucia is that it really depends on whatever you have Rapture engine or not, that can actually use her buffs, because I got her because I thought that the Rapture cards were gonna be matter relevant, they were gonna be the best cards of the whole game, and actually got none of them. Like, the only Rapture cards that I actually is Manato, and it's not really good, so yeah. And because that I actually bench Lucia, like I never use her at all. Now, in some disparate cases you can use her as a generic support, but she's not gonna do great. Like, you do have a better generic support than... Wait, what the fuck happened? So in this particular case, Zua is probably gonna be a better generic support than actually Lucia, so that tells you everything you need to know about so either you have Rapture cards or yeah, she kinda is a problem to use actually, so yeah. Anyway, pros and cons. Best and only Rapture engine in the game, Rapture support engine in the game, or now, because there's a rumor that actually another Rapture support is gonna come out pretty soon. Huge HP and shield force buffs, but in general she gives a lot of buffs, so your Rapture cards are gonna do fantastic with her, unless they're Romanato. She also does great damage for a support card, like I was kind of shocked the amount of damage she inflicted as a support. Like, she inflicted more support herself, she inflicted more damage herself as a support than actually Romanato. Can't tell you how crazy it is. Broken Mindscape, because why not? Mindscapes are always broken for support agents. I mean, Ultimate Ray is kinda like Astra, so another one is broken, so there's really nothing more to say about that. And can also be used support for the agents in the worst case scenario. Like, she's gonna perform a Lucy. So, if you're really desperate about needing another support agent, about using another support agent, yeah, she can do that. But she won't be the very best option for cards that are not Rapture agents. So do not rely on anything else that is a Rapture team. A value, like I said before, depends solely on whatever you want to play Rapture engines, so whatever you have Rapture engines to begin with. And also, speaking of Rapture engines, they're the weakest archetype right now, because let's be honest, the fact that Lucia still is the best Rapture engine in the whole game, that's everything you need to know about the Rapture agents. And Rapture agents without the shielding actually struggle quite a lot. And also there's the risk of self-wing replays, because like I said, there's this rumor coming around that a new Rapture support is gonna come out very soon, so yeah. Now, if you have a Rapture agent, you definitely do get there as soon as possible, because without that, Rapture agents are cooked as well. Like, guys, I saw someone who got Yidari M1 and still wasn't able to clear Wandering Hunter because they didn't have Lucia. Like, how do you prioritize getting an escape to Idari and not getting Idari per support? Like, that is crazy to me. On the other hand, though, if you get her without any Rapture agents, yeah, that's gonna be a break, I'm not gonna lie, because like I did myself too. I go to Lucia and plan to actually using Rapture agent in the future, and then I actually ended up never using them at all, so there's this risk considering getting Lucia. So if you wanna get there, you have to make it sure that you're actually gonna get Rapture agents. Otherwise, she's gonna be sitting on the bench all this time. So yeah. So overall, what card should you get if you're a free-to-play player? My answer is simple: get Trigger, prioritize getting Trigger above everything else. Maybe Lucia if you have Rapture agent, so you plan to use Rapture agent, and everyone else comes to second place, because DPS are actually the cards that are the most easiest one to power creep. So I mean, Jen can still use her to this day, so especially if you pair her with Remier, which is gonna come out pretty soon, might still be worth pulling for it. If you also plan to get her Mindscape, because M2 is broken. Sanby and Hugo, yeah, they're definitely worth it. They actually are kind of garbage, so straight away skip it unless you really like them for some reason. So yeah. So my priority for the pulls are Trigger, or Lucia if you have Rapture agents, Jane, and Tishu the last place. Now, when it comes to Mindscapes, he still is Trigger Lucia, because Trigger Lucia also amazing Mindscapes that really makes them better. Trigger Mindscapes actually enables her to apply the stun damage multiply window, also in the stun window, lol. And Lucia buffs with M1 actually are good as well, due to the raise reduction. Jane as well, Mindscapes are not bad at all as well, since M1 is decent and M2 is bad, just because of that you wanna get some Mindscape for Jane. Hugo and then Sanby last, because Sanby Mindscapes actually are garbage. Do not put one Sanby Mindscapes at all, like they are completely garbage, so yeah. Overall, I feel like I said everything needs to be said on this video, so I'm gonna end here. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and smash the subscribe button to miss any future D&D content or any kind of content I'm gonna make in the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye and take care. Ciao!